Hi, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the Wednesday Loving Kindness class. My name is Alex. It's wonderful to be here with you today. Is there anybody here who is brand new to the Dharma Bum Temple? Never been here before? Welcome. So did your friend drag you here? Good job. Very good job. He drag you? Did he bring you here?
Oh, my nephew invited us.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Is there anyone here who, this is not your first time to the Dharma Bum Temple, but it is your first time to Wednesday to Loving Kindness class? Awesome. Beautiful. Welcome again. I love it. And so in Buddhism, the word that we're talking about when we say loving kindness is this word called metta. M-E-T-T-A, metta. And this comes from an old language, the old Poly language, which is kind of related to what the historical Buddha spoke 2,500 years ago. It's probably an offshoot of whatever that language was, the old Magadhan language. And when a word is really old and it gets translated into English 2,500 years later, from what we know of the word, this isn't a one-to-one kind of thing. This one word means one word in English. It really means a lot of different things. It can mean loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, goodwill. And it's simply a wish to be happy, a wish for ourselves to be happy, a wish for others to be happy, but more importantly, a wish for ourselves and others to do the things that cause happiness. And so then that probably begs the question, well, what causes happiness? And if you know anything about the Dharma Bum Temple and about what the motto of the Dharma Bum Temple is, you know exactly what causes happiness. And the motto of the Dharma Bum Temple is think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds. And if we do those things with the right intention, those things cause happiness. It's really, really simple. Be a good person. It's not rocket science. So many religions teach the same thing, maybe in different ways. But this is kind of how we like to look at it. And because of this definition of loving kindness, our loving kindness will never get in the way of another person's loving kindness. So when you're thinking about like doing this practice for the enemy, and all you want the enemy to do is do the things that cause happiness, which is think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds with the right intention, their loving kindness will never get in the way of ours. They will never be conflicting. So if you're worried about, well, I don't like this person or whatever that is, it's okay. You don't have to use the word loving kindness when you think of this person. You can just think about goodwill. Like I just don't want anything bad to happen to you. So I like those different types of definitions depending on who you're doing this practice for. We do this practice in a little bit of a modified way, so we can really focus on ourselves and having loving kindness for ourselves. Because really, and I think it's pretty universal that we are our own worst enemy. We take, I don't know if we take great joy, but we're very much conditioned to punishing ourselves by mulling over these self-defeating thoughts that kind of happen in our head, all this recursive thinking, and just kind of ruminating on that and strengthening those kind of negative things instead of saying, no, that's just the ego talking. And I love myself and I have loving kindness for myself. And I just want the best for myself and I want the best for others. So there's a lot of, I guess you could say, deprogramming going on when we do this practice. We're kind of going against the grain of kind of what we're used to, what we've been used to for so long. And so what I want to do, since we have a lot of newer people here, is I want to read this sutra from 2,500 years ago. It's called the Meta Sutra. And the sutra is just a teaching. And in the Theravada tradition of Buddhism, and there's different schools of Buddhism. This is just the one that I'm educated in the most. Hi Marcel. In the Theravada tradition, we kind of go by what's called the Poly Canon, and it's just a big collection of the sayings of the Buddha, of teachings of the Buddha, and it was written on palm leaves around the turn of the Common Era, maybe in the 1st century AD. And by that time, the Buddha had been dead for like 500 years. And, because the literacy rate of that time was really low, less than 5%, probably 3% or almost zero, everything was an oral tradition. So when the Buddha died, they got together and they said, okay, well, what are all the teachings of the Buddha? And the Buddha's cousin and his attendant for the last 25 years of his life, Ananda, who apparently had this like super duper memory, was able to recite all of the teachings of the Buddha. And so those were repeated and passed down from generation to generation. And so when you read the Poly Canon, and they have these, and I have almost most of the Poly Canon at home, translated into English, when you read it, it's really repetitive. So yes, I know you're saying that. You just said that like 2 paragraphs ago or a paragraph ago. And the reason it has this repetitive nature because it was an oral tradition. And that's how they passed it down. You kind of repeated it and repeated it and repeated it until you committed it to memory. And so this is one of the teachings of the Buddha from 2,500 years ago. And the reason I love reading it is because it's so relevant to today and pretty much relevant to pretty much any time. So this is the Meta Sutra, and it goes, "This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. Wishing, in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred or ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being free from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. That's so awesome and so beautiful. And kind of different things stick out to me every time I read this, because I read this every so often. I don't read this every class. Maybe I should read it every class. But one of the things that stuck out to me, and that I talk a lot about, is it said, like in the second line, or in the first line, it says, "This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness." And the important word there is skill. And this kind of relates to the word practice. In order to develop any skill, whether it's in meditation or whether it's in a sport or an activity of some kind, you have to practice to get good at it. I'm spending tomorrow with my friend, and her nephew is at Stanford, and he's playing baseball, and he's played his whole life, and to get good at baseball and to get a baseball scholarship, you have to start young, and you have to have good coaches, and you have to practice, and you have to play, and you have to keep up your skills, and you have to get better, and you have to weight train, and you have to do all these different types of things to be really competent in order to get a baseball scholarship. And in meditation, it's the same thing. In meditation, and in this practice of loving kindness, which is more than just meditation, you're developing skills. You're getting skilled in goodness. You're getting skilled in thinking good thoughts, and you're getting skilled in speaking good words, and you're getting skilled at doing good deeds with the right intentions. And part of this path is doing things and messing up. And in Buddhism, that is fully expected, because it's okay in this practice just to try your best. And sometimes you're going to come short, and you just pick yourself up and you dust yourself off and you try it again. This time with maybe some more information about what you did wrong and what you can do better the next time. And that's what I really admire and love about this practice, because this practice says we don't expect you to be perfect. We expect you to try. We would like you to try. We want to see some effort, but we don't expect you to be perfect. Just try to develop these skills, these wonderful skills, the skill in meditation and your skill in action, your skill in thinking good thoughts and speaking good words and doing good deeds. And it's because of this strategy, and I love to use the word strategy, because of this strategy, and that's the thing that attracted me to this spiritual path, was it allowed me to breathe. This lack of expectation of perfection, which I foisted on myself my entire life, and got so angry at myself and disappointed in myself when I kept on coming short time after time, and learned to beat myself up because of it. And I'm sure many of us can relate, because that's normally how we treat ourselves. We're not perfect. Oh, then we're bad, or we did it wrong, or we're not good enough, or all the different things that our mind says to us. And Buddhism says, no. You're trying to develop a skill here. So do these practices, try it again. Maybe have a different frame of mind or a different frame of reference. And try again, and it's okay. So that's what we're going to do in meditation. So I'm going to lead this meditation. I am going to guide it. And so I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, so to kind of help you along a little bit. So in this practice of loving kindness meditation, we're first going to do this practice. We're going to just kind of get connected with the breath for a few minutes. And then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do this practice for what we call a benefactor. And a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love and great kindness. Mother, father, brother, sister, best friend, favorite teacher, favorite philosopher, or whomever. We try to stay away from romantic partners, and I can get into that later. But other than that, everyone else fair game. And then we're going to imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us. And the wonderful thing about this is they're our benefactor for a reason, right? So it's supposed to be easier just to imagine them doing this practice for us. And some people aren't really used to this, so it helps to maybe put your hand over your heart and listen for any tension. Because really all you're doing in this part of the practice is just receiving their loving kindness. That's it. You're just receiving. And sometimes in receiving, there can be some tension, some part of your heart that says, no, I don't deserve this. I can't accept this. I don't deserve this. I can't. And this is wonderful. The wonderful thing about practice and developing skills, if this happens, that's okay. We can just notice, breathe, maybe loosening that tension in our heart, letting more of it in if we can. If not, let it go. That's okay. And then we're going to do this practice for ourselves, and you can even keep your hand over your heart for this one. And then after that, we're going to do this for all beings. Right? We're going to explore the limitless quality of the heart, because our strategy in Buddhism is that the heart has this limitless quality. There is no limit to who we can have loving kindness for, and how many people we can have loving kindness for. So that's going to be our meditation. Any questions before we start? All right, let's go do this. So just allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that position that's nice and comfortable for you, nice and sustainable, so you're not likely to move around too much. And when we sit in this practice of meditation, we sit like a Buddha. And we can even imagine ourselves as a Buddha sitting underneath our own tree of enlightenment. The Buddha had the Bodhi tree. And we can choose any tree that we want. We can choose a majestic redwood or a sequoia. We can choose a willow tree. We can choose a eucalyptus tree. We can use an oak tree. And it's okay to imagine yourselves as a Buddha, an awakened being, doing this sublime abiding. And so it's really important that we get connected to the breath. So let's just take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. At first, not forcing it, letting the breath be quite easy and quite natural. We can focus on our breath at the base of the nostrils, feeling the air go in and out as we breathe. Or we can focus on the belly or the chest, feeling its expansion and contraction as you breathe. Staying with this present time awareness. And then after a few breaths, you can kind of see what kind of breath is going to put your mind at ease and what's going to make it most attentive. Maybe you want to take a deeper inhale or a deeper exhale. And you can experiment with that. Because during this meditation, we always want to keep about 25% of our attention on the breath. So that will anchor us to the present moment. Because the breath is our anchor. The breath is our home. A place we can always come back to when life gets just a little bit too hard, when we get distracted. So just for the next couple of minutes, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. And so to begin our practice of metta, unconditional friendliness, goodwill, this loving kindness practice, we're first going to choose a benefactor. And again, a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love or great kindness. They can be living, they can be not living. There's a lot of flexibility here. And think about or call to mind just this person, their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from danger, healthy. And you can picture this person in your mind's eye and just radiate loving kindness to them. With all the definitions you know of loving kindness, just radiate loving kindness. And however you understand that word radiate, I like to think of a beam of loving kindness going from my heart to theirs. And I'm smiling because I'm so happy that I get to give this loving kindness to my friend who has meant so much to me. And smiling always helps because it generates a positive mind state, which is kind of what we're after. Wishing them love and care and wishing they do the things that cause happiness. For the next few moments, then we'll do this practice of loving kindness for our benefactor. Remembering to stay connected to the breath as much as you can. About 25% of your attention. And now shifting our focus just a little from doing this practice for our benefactor to now imagining our benefactor doing this practice for us. So we already have the experience in our own heart of our benefactor's loving kindness towards us. It's already there. That's why they're the benefactor. So all you have to do is imagine your benefactor doing this practice for you, remembering what they meant to you. And again, the only thing you have to do is just really receive all of their loving kindness as they radiate that back to you in however you understand that word radiate. And just receive all of it as much as you can. If you have any difficulty, any part of your heart that is tense, any part of your heart that's saying, I can't accept all of this, I can't do it. Just say, notice. Breathe into that tension. And that's okay. It's okay that that tension is there. It's normal. Maybe you can give it a little space, a little room to move around. Loosen and soften. And smile as always. Smiling helps so much. Maybe putting your hand over your heart. Thanking them for being such a wonderful benefactor. Thank you. So just for the next few moments, we'll imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us because they love us so much. And now shifting our focus again from imagining our benefactor doing this practice for us to now we can do this practice for us. And so before we do this, just call to mind your own wish to be happy, your own wish to be free from suffering, from sadness, from danger, your own wish to be happy, to do the things that cause happiness. And it's the same wish that everyone else has for themselves, because everyone just wants to be happy. And you can either radiate loving kindness back to yourself, imagining your heart getting bigger and bigger and bigger, just like the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes, your heart can grow 3 sizes. Or if you want, you can just repeat phrases of loving kindness to yourself. And you can choose one or more of these phrases. It's up to you. Phrases like, may I be happy. May I be safe from inner and outer danger. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at peace and live at ease in this world. You can still keep your hand over your heart if you want. Listening still for any tension or tightness, any part of your heart that says, I can't do this. Of course you can. This is the most important part of this practice. So we'll do this for the next few moments. Have loving kindness for ourselves. And then finally, we can explore the limitless quality of the heart by doing this practice for all beings in all directions. Those living near and far away, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, seen and the unseen, born and to be born, may all beings be at ease, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded. That's the potential that your heart has. So we'll do this practice now for all beings in all directions. Just open your eyes when you're ready. And just taking the next moment or two out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs. Keeping that mindfulness of loving kindness about you as much as you can while you do so. And we will begin right after that. I don't know if you have any questions or anything you want to share about your experience of meditation. You can get those questions ready. Online too. We'll begin in about 1 minute from now. Well, as usual, that was good for me. But it doesn't, and especially, it's one day till Thanksgiving or Gratitude Remembrance Day or, whatever you want to call it. A lot to be thankful for. So, again, I'm always interested in your experience of meditation, whether you're used to doing this particular kind of meditation or not, in this particular way or not. So any questions on the instructions at all? Hopefully they're relatively straightforward. Any questions about or comments on, your experience of meditation, like what went on with you? Any part of the meditation that really just kind of flowed, or that was kind of difficult, or kind of unexpected, or anything like that? I'll start with that really quickly. I had this friend, and when I was brand new in sobriety in 2004, maybe like a week or two in, I was going to meetings, and there's this woman. Her name was, everyone just called her Coogan. She was a lot. Just a lot of a person, just a lot, just very extroverted, and the opposite of me, who was very introverted. And plus I was very, very new in sobriety, and my head still wasn't really clear. And there was just something she saw in me, and she just kind of grabbed me and said, "You're my friend." And we went to meetings together, and we hung out, and we had dinner, and we played tennis, and we did all these fun things, and she was just, just this a lot. She was a lot. She was just a big personality, big personality. And I don't really know why she, she picked me. But we were friends for a while, and then she got lung cancer. And about a year after she quit smoking, she got lung cancer, and she passed away in 2011. And during my meditation, I just pictured her. And, everyone called her Coogan. Her name was Mary Coogan. I only called her Mary Coogan. I called her by her first and last name every single time. Hello, Mary Coogan. And that was our thing. And during meditation, she came up because she's been gone for over 10 years now. And I just remember being so happy, just so grateful for this woman who just picked me and made my life so much better with her presence. Because I'm, especially back then, 18 years ago almost, was very just shy and timid, and you add, new and sobriety on top of that. And it could have been a really lonely early sobriety, and she made it wonderful. She made it grand and happy and joyous and fun. And, I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I just picturing her and just doing this practice for her. But my practice for her is just screaming at her silently, "Hi, Mary Coogan." And she's screaming back at me, "Hi, Alex." And I just made this meditation really, really, really worthwhile and really wonderful. And it just kind of made my heart, her memory and her memory of her loving kindness towards me just made my life so much better, and just made me so grateful for her. And so that was kind of my meditation. So I kind of wanted to share that. And I wish that whenever I have this wonderful experience, I always think, I wish everyone could have this experience. I wish everyone sitting in this room has that one person who has their own Mary Coogan, and I'll never forget her and what she meant to me. So, how about you guys? Was there any part of the meditation that was just super duper awesome for you? Do you want to talk about? Or not? It could be difficult, or it could be whatever. It's your experience. Your experience isn't wrong. Your experience is just your experience.
Funny you should mention radiating that to someone who's not with us, because I did too. And I shared in some of that wonder, but had a lot of distractions going on, so it was hard to like driving through the fog, kind of.
Yeah.
A really shitty day, and it seemed like I just lost 6 months of being calm in about a half an hour with a bunch of assholes on the phone and Kaiser Pharmacy, and every single person I talked to was like everybody took brain dead pills today. I just couldn't deal with it, and I kept thinking, why am I getting so angry at this? And I just lost it. So I came from that to here, trying to erase it. And it's funny because all the literature talks about Westerners and traffic, how we're angry when someone, it's so funny that that's the thing that we all bitch and moan about, distracting us from being calm and loving. For me, it was assholes in pharmacy, but whatever. They were just stupid, everything about it, and I didn't know how to dismiss it. It's really hard. But the shining light through the fog was somebody that brought wonder into my life. So kind of made up for it, not Can't relate, but funny you mentioned it.
Yeah.
It happened to me too.
And the great thing about that, it kind of relates to what I talked about early before we even started to meditate. And it's like, hey, you're going to have days like that in this practice. You're probably going to have a lot of days like that, or a lot of hours like that, or minutes like that, or weeks like that. That's okay. This is just life. This is just what happens in life. This is just what happens when you deal with a healthcare system that's broken. And it's not the people, for the most part. It's the people working in a system that is broken.
Well, yeah, every single one, it was like, is this the Twilight Zone? Did I call the wrong number? No, this is the right number. Oh, no, you're talking about me. Oh, okay. Oh, what?
Yeah, I have to fight with them like all the time, especially with prior authorizations.
Oh,
It's like, and so that's just a thing. I mean, I think most of us have similar experiences where we've had to deal with prior authorizations and how much of a pain that can be sometimes. And okay, that's just what it is, and the world's not going to get any better with me just getting upset about that. But yeah, absolutely, you just have those days, and that it just makes me grateful for this practice that these types of days are okay and they are expected, and it's just life. It's just what happens, and I have the tools that I can use to kind of deal with these moments that come up. And sometimes I'm going to be good at it, and sometimes I'm not. You're relatively new. You're not always going to be good at it. You're not expected to be always good at it.
it's a good thing I was alone on that bus stop when I was 3 years
And
old.
bad, you weren't bad. You just weren't as skilled as you could have been. And this is where that word skill really comes in handy. We're developing skills.
Oh, I was a brain amateur, let me tell you. I can laugh about it.
Good. I'm glad.
I think I'm recovering.
Yeah. Anyone else? You're just happy to be here tonight? That's okay. You can just be happy to be. I'm happy that you're here. Yes, sir.
I just had to chuckle with the radiating kindness to the world and that loud scooter drove by. I just thought the timing could have been better.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, you guys, it was wonderful to be here with you and sharing practice and sharing this loving kindness practice that I love to do, and I love to teach, and I love to share with you guys. It just brings me so much joy, and I hope you've gotten something out of this tonight, and I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. And let's join our palms together at our hearts, please. And may the benefits of this practice, this discussion, be received by all beings. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are, that you are. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a wonderful rest of your wonderful day tomorrow, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys. Bye, online folks. Also, there's no class tomorrow. It's every Wednesday, yeah.